beings. And now, they cannot locate my file. Can somebody at least show me my medical records? On the opposite side of the coin, my experiences also instilled in me a very great pride in the many heroes who made it their life's work to fight for justice and thus rendered the invisibility of this slow violence visible. These are people like BO8A1298, whom some of you may know, who was a fierce advocate for the people of Romalep and women throughout the Marshalls, who had been afraid to share the pain of multiple miscarriages and the birth of jellyfish babies. Jellyfish babies is a term that came up in our language after the testing. These people didn't have any other way to explain what they were seeing. Bijan is known to people around the world for her work, but she died from complications of cancer in 2013. There are also people like John Milne, a Marshallese who worked on cleanup crews for the U.S. Department of Energy. He founded the Marshall Islands Radiation Victims Association to advocate for care and compensation for his fellow workers. He's hardly known outside of the Marshall Islands, but for me, he was one of the warriors in the fight to make the invisible visible, and he has also passed on. And there are those who continue to work tirelessly to bring Marshallese knowledge and truth about nuclear testing into the light. People like Tony DeGroom, many of you may already know. He's now the RMI's ambassador on climate change, but during his former tenure as foreign minister, a person who's instrumental in bringing the RMI's case against the world's nuclear powers to the international stage. We also have young people like Kathy Jetnell-Kitchener, who's a poet. They're using their art and creativity to forge a path towards social justice on nuclear issues and other issues like climate change that are grappling with this slow violence concept that I've been raising. And if you haven't heard Kathy's poetry, she's on YouTube. I encourage you to go check out her poems. She has one called Tell Them, which explodes with truth and power about the Marshallese experience. And this year, for the first time ever, our government organized a national conference on the RMI's nuclear legacy. For a long time, when I was growing up, people didn't talk about the nuclear experiences because we didn't know what to say. We didn't have the information. And that has changed. Speakers at this conference included a wide array of people with knowledge of the testing period and its impacts, both Marshallese and non-Marshallese. Called Charting a Journey Toward Justice, the conference was organized around March 1st, which is the anniversary of Bravo, and it's also our Nuclear Victims Remembrance Day in the Marshall Islands, a national holiday. Speaker after speaker spoke to the need for transparency and truth in achieving justice, and at that, Ambassador Tony DeGroom in his keynote actually opened this meeting with the mantra, quote, "There can be no closure without full disclosure." Here we are 70 years after the U.S. nuclear testing period ended and we still do not have all the facts. We need to have the information that the United States continues to withhold made public. Only with that can Marshallese make informed decisions on how to move forward. There was a UN Special Rapporteur report that came out in 2012 that advocated, in fact, for releasing all of the records that are still classified related to the testing in order to help the Marshall Islands move forward. I'd like to close with a couple of quotes. One is from Billy Hauofa, who's a Pacific Island scholar, and his writings have stirred the soul of many islanders. And he said, "If we're invisible, we can become dispensable." And another one of my heroes is Marshallese health educator and anti-nuclear activist, Darlene K.G. Johnson. She's also a cousin. She's passed away from cancer. And she was instrumental in really blowing this up in the 80s when nobody wanted to talk about what was happening. And she said it's very simple, don't be a victim. So I want to say to you from the bottom of my heart, como tada, thank you for being here to witness our stories. We have to hear these stories, we have to witness these stories that the knowledge lives on. It's a shared humanity. Whenever our shared humanity is diminished, then all of us are diminished. And the slow violence that threatens to harm the people of the Marshall Islands threatens us all.